Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is the 10 o'clock news on Q2, Montana's news leader.
Good evening and thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Jay Kohn. Janelle's on assignment tonight. The city of Billings is closing in on naming a new city administrator. The 4 finalists for the city administrator's post had a chance to tour city offices today and make their final pitch to city council members. Tonight, a closer look at who's in the running. Following extensive interviews and a tour of the city, the decision on who will lead the city into the future now rests with the city council. Tonight, the 4 finalists sat down to answer questions from the local media. Q2's Zoe Zandora was there.
All 4 finalists agreed they appreciate the effort and time put into the search process done by the city to find the next city administrator. Collectively, the 4 finalists agree that Billings is a city with a lot of opportunity.
One Big Sky is undeniably an incredible opportunity in the core, pulling the hospitals in, the university.
People here may feel like, well, it needs a facelift, it needs to be re-energized and revitalized, but there's a lot of people that don't have what you have and never will, and downtown Billings is certainly alive and well.
Water treatment facility with the construction of a lake that could be a recreational amenity, I think is a neat idea. So I just like the idea of taking normal public works projects and saying, how can we make this an asset for the community?
The transformation of that airport will fit into the One Big Sky project, development projects. All these things are going to be, there's going to be a synchronicity.
And when asked about how important public taxpayer buy-in is for economic development in Billings,
I think the taxpayers have to understand the value proposition of the services that we're going to deliver and the projects that we can deliver and what their tax dollars will buy them.
I would echo that, and I think it's really about building trust generally. It's about being open and transparent and accountable about what you're doing all the time.
Earning the trust and confidence of the people who elect representatives, and if you don't have that, you don't have anything.
In Billings, Zoe Zandora, MTN News.
Thanks, Zoe. The City Council has a special meeting set for tomorrow night starting at 6:30, at which time a decision is expected on picking a new city administrator. Then, of course, the negotiations over salary. If you recall, a year ago, the council thought it had a deal with Great Falls City Administrator Greg Doyon, only to see that deal fall through when the two sides could not agree on a salary and benefits package. After weeks of widespread concern over the welfare of a missing Billings mother, Laura Johnson, Billings police say her case is considered suspicious in nature. The 49-year-old Johnson is 5'4", 130 pounds, with blonde hair and blue eyes. She's been missing since the 13th of September. She's also listed as a missing person in the state of Washington. That's where she lived before Billings. Her family believes something is definitely wrong. She quit showing up for her job at Papa John's and has not answered her phone or been active on social media. One of Johnson's sons tells us his mom is in an abusive relationship, and although local police have not confirmed that, this crime scene van was at Johnson's home in the Heights this past Friday night. Billings investigators say while they have limited information to release, they believe that Johnson's disappearance did occur under suspicious circumstances. Anyone with information is asked to contact local law enforcement. Also today, Yellowstone County Sheriff Mike Linder asking for the public's help in locating a 37-year-old man from Canada, Cameron Collin. Collin was last seen October 4th when he left a home on the Pryor Road and was believed to be walking into Billings. Cameron is a white male, 6 feet 5 inches tall, weighing about 200 pounds. He was last seen wearing blue jeans, cowboy boots, and a black long-sleeve T-shirt. At this time, Sheriff Linder says there is no suspicion of foul play. Anyone with information is asked to contact the Yellowstone County Sheriff's Office. One of the nation's oldest coal companies filed today for bankruptcy protection. Westmoreland Coal, based in Englewood, Colorado, filed for voluntary Chapter 11 protection in bankruptcy court in Houston. It's part of a restructuring agreement with the company's lenders as Westmoreland deals with more than $1.4 billion in debt. Westmoreland, which owns 3 coal mines in Montana, is the 4th major coal company in the nation to file for bankruptcy over the past 3 years. It joins Peabody Coal, Arch Coal, and Alpha Natural Resources on that list. Westmoreland says its operations will not be interrupted as a result of their filing today, and there are no expected staff reductions. Interim CEO Michael Hutchinson says Westmoreland's developed a plan with its creditors that will allow operations to continue as usual while positioning the company for long-term success. Others, though, are not optimistic about Westmoreland's long-term outlook. Mike Scott with the Sierra Club's Beyond Coal campaign says Westmoreland's bankruptcy is not a surprise. He says, quote, "It's time to get serious about economic transition for Montana's coal communities, not more empty promises. We're at a significant risk now of being left behind as the economy shifts towards demanding clean power." Montana's tourism industry continues to pump billions of dollars into the state's economy. The Institute for Tourism and Recreation at the University of Montana is now out with its newest analysis of the industry. For Yellowstone County, the state's most populated, well, not as much of an impact as you might think. Statewide, Gallatin County saw the most tourist dollars with $660 million in non-resident spending. Yellowstone County comes in fourth in that list with $225 million. The report on tourism is published each year. This year, researchers say overall tourism spending increased 2.6% over the previous year. On to the weather scene now. Q2's Bob McGuire joining us now. Bob, we have yet another hurricane, Hurricane Michael, barreling towards land. What's the latest for us?
This is a big and bad one because it's now a Category 3. And you might remember Hurricane Katrina was a Category 3 when it finally moved onshore New Orleans back in 2005. But as you see, there it is now, and it is a big hurricane. It's got winds now 125 miles per hour. You can see it there, but watch what happens. It is forecast to become a Category 4 when it moves onshore into Panama City tomorrow, expecting to be maybe 130 mile per hour winds. It'll continue to push all the way up into North Carolina as tropical force winds move into that area. And this area here, here's what you're going to see. You're going to see a lot of power outages from Panama City, Tallahassee, all the way up through Augusta, Georgia. A lot of high winds and a lot of flooding in that area. It's going to be a mess. It's going to be the lead story tomorrow across much of the country. We'll have the rest of your forecast coming up in a few more minutes.
All right, thank you, Bob. Coming up on tonight's 10 o'clock news, how will the Supreme Court Justice nomination impact Montana's already contentious Senate race? We'll find out coming up. Plus, breast cancer awareness goes far beyond the confines of October. Tonight we talked to a survivor about why early detection is so important. And coming up in sports, last week of AA soccer's regular season, Scott shows us coming up if Skyview's girls are still perfect after dealing with West.
You're watching MTN News with Jay Kohn and Janelle Slade. Storm Tracker weather with Bob McGuire and sports with Scott Green. This is the 10 o'clock news on Q2, Montana's news leader.